here. So today I'm going to be giving you guys my tutorial on how to boom. Booming is a strategy in Age of Empires 2 that revolves around building up an incredibly strong economy while defending yourself. So the idea is that you build very little military units, like the absolute minimum that you'd have to, before you reach the Imperial Age. And then once you reach the Imperial Age, you have basically all the villagers that you'll ever need to build for that game, and you're ready to just focus entirely on military. And it can be a very powerful strategy if executed right. However, you are vulnerable during the earlier stages of the game. If done right, by around somewhere between 30 to 40 minutes, you should be in the Imperial Age and ready to run people over with your economy being completely finished. So like I said, you're vulnerable in the earlier stages of the game, which is an issue. So you have to get good at defending yourself. And this strategy does not really work if you're on the flank or basically the edge of your team, because it's a team game strategy, really. In a one-on-one, it is very risky to execute, of course. Basically, you can only execute it when you believe you have a low risk of being attacked early on, or if you do get attacked, you believe that you can defend it easily. So this is a common strategy on maps like Black Forest, or custom maps like Michi. So anyway, I'm just doing a 2v2. Computers aren't hard, reveal maps explored is a standard. Population will usually be higher online, but 200 is the max the computer players can support. So just a disclaimer is that this tutorial is intended for newer players, so I'm going to be showing people how to build an incredibly strong economy with basically the minimal amount of effort. There are more efficient ways to do this, of course. For example, I'm not going to be hunting anything for simplicity's sake in this video. There will be no hunting, whereas hunting can actually significantly improve the speed of your boom. And there's going to be a couple other nuances in this video just to try and make things as straightforward as possible so that anyone can mimic this. So there are more efficient ways to do this. This is just the most basic sense. So let's just dive straight in, shall we? I picked the Saracens because they don't have any significant economic bonuses, so that you don't have to change anything if you're imitating this. First things first is I immediately selected my town center, right? And I queued up 4 villagers. And I did that with hotkeys, but as long as that's the first action you do, should always be to just queue up these villagers right off the bat, and then queue up 3 houses, and grab your sheep, move them under the town center. And when the guys are done with the house, I'm just going to move him over there. I like to hotkey my scout to 1, which makes scouting easier. I look for clumps of what looks to be 2 dots on the mini-map. There we go. So that I can figure out where the sheep are located. And I'm going to put the first 7 villagers that I get on sheep. So I've got 6 now, so there's only 1 more that's going to pop out. And then after that, I'm going to build 1 more villager, but that's not going to go on. Alright, so now I've got 7. Okay. Next villager does not go on sheep. The first thing is 7 villagers on sheep. I haven't done anything else. I built houses, and now I've got my shepherds and sheep, and now I'm going to build a lumber camp right here. The closest pocket of trees that I can, and I'm going to put my lumber camp right next to it. Notice I put my houses a little further away from my town center, just so not to obstruct farmland. Anyway, I'm going to research loom while that's going on, because while after you build your 8th villager right there, the population, you're not going to have enough food to immediately produce another one, and we're trying to minimize our town center idle time. So I just take loom right there, easy sneezy, and we're going to keep building villagers. To drastically improve your game, you never want your town center to be idle, so you always got to watch that stuff. The goal with a strong economy is you want to ensure that you have half the max population of whatever that matches is villagers. So this is 200 pops, so I probably want 100 villagers. If it was 300 population, I probably want 150. So I'm just going to keep pumping out villagers on this. I have my 7 villagers on sheep, which guarantees that I will always have enough food to constantly produce villagers. My town center has not been idle at all yet. Very important. And I'm just going to keep sending villagers to wood, basically until the sheep run out. This is pretty straightforward. So 7 villagers on sheep. The next one builds a lumber camp, and then you get loom. while he's building the lumber camp, and then you just keep sending villagers to that lumber camp until all of your sheep run out. Sheep should run out sort of soonish, we'll see. Might need to build another house with the next villager, so I'm gonna go do that. Stockpiling a lot of wood because since we are going to do the lazy man's boom, we're not going to be hunting anything, so we're going to need a lot of farms, and we're going to need food for that mill, because when our sheep run out, I'm going to take all my shepherds and I'm going to put them all on these berries. It appears that my sheep are almost out. The guy who built the house can also go chop wood. So I could use one. I'll build another house right now. Really, the rest of this you can sort of wing. It's just 7 on sheep, and then you keep dumping guys on wood from your town center until, and then when the shepherds are done, you just build a mill right next to these forage bushes. And then once all the sheep run out, all new villagers are on farming duty. So that's what we're going to do. Just for kicks though, while that mill is going up, I'm going to take one of my lumberjacks and I'm going to wall this section off so that it don't get rushed. Would not want to get rushed. The booming strategy does not work unless you wall up. Just waiting for my villagers now to go drop off their berries. Inevitable. So now I'm floating a lot of wood, so now I can start pulling these lumberjacks off to start building farms. So I can just systematically pull them off every now and then to start doing that. Because I'm only going to focus on 2 resources in the Dark Age. Just wood and food. 2 minerals don't matter. Got that walled off right now, so we'll build another house. Gonna build a few more farms, I think. Should be pretty straightforward. You can sort of just wing this, as long as I've got, you know, wood left. I'm just trying to make basically as many farms as I can. And then, yeah. This will be pretty good. We'll see how many lumberjacks I end up with. I probably have enough farms out now. Probably have enough lumberjacks now that I can just keep them there. Don't want to leave this guy idle though. And you can build another farm as well. You notice I'm keeping my farms as close as I can to my town center or a mill so that my villagers don't have to walk so far to drop off things. And we're about to reach, we're slowly getting towards our goal of 500 food so we can advance. I'm gonna build one more farm. And now I can go back to putting people on wood, basically, now that I've run out of all my excess farms. And basically, once I get 500 food, I'm just going to advance. Pretty straightforward. Looks like I am going to get it really soon. But I don't want to stop my villager production prematurely for this. So yeah, it looks like after the next villager, I will be good to go at 30 population. So this will be good. Fantastic. I'm gonna put him on. I'm gonna put a couple of people on wood though, just because the idea is that you want to invest most of your time in the Dark Age and as little time as possible in the Feudal Age when booming. So what I'm gonna do is the moment I hit the Feudal Age, I'm not gonna do. I'm gonna build like 2, maybe 3 villagers, however many villagers it takes for my town center not to be idle in that time period. And I'm going to immediately build a market and a blacksmith. That's the first, so I'm just going to build a market and a blacksmith. And I'm not going to research anything else except just jump straight to the Castle Age, because I don't want to stay in the Feudal Age. I don't want to fight people in the Feudal Age. If I was going to get attacked, I would just put stone walls right here, as soon as I get to the Feudal Age. These palisade walls, since I did it really early, will prevent me from getting hit by any early rushes. However, my ally I know has not walled his side, which is fine, but no problem. And we'll probably wall up completely anyway. So I'm gonna take off. A bunch of my lumberjacks, and I'm gonna put them all just to build a market and to build a blacksmith. So I'm doing that immediately. My new villagers can also help him build. You can pull off as many lumberjacks as you want. All that matters is this job just gets done. So it looks like I'm only going to be able to finish building this one villager, and then I'm just going to sell my stone, actually, right now. Cellstone twice. And I'm gonna advance. Perfect, right? So now I got all these idle suckers, all these idle builders right here. I'm gonna put all of them back on wood because that's where they belong. My forage bushes ran out. I'm gonna need some stone since I sold it all, so I'm gonna put a few villagers on stone. Go 4, I think. And double bit axe is the only other technology I'm going to be getting in the Feudal Age right now. I would like to stonewall that at my earliest opportunity. In the meantime, I'll put a house there and focus a lot on wood. If you notice now, I'm focusing my economy on a lot of wood and stone because first thing we do when we get to the Castle Age is we're going to get some town centers out. Because I need to get to my goal, right, of having half my population be villagers. So let's just do that. I got double bit axe that the stone income's really pouring in. The 2 idle guys over there didn't notice. I'm gonna fix that. This guy's gonna be my wall builder as soon as my stone miners drop off some stone. Fantastic. So let's go stonewall this. It is important that you do this while you're advancing, so that he will not be able to send in anything to screw up your plans. Would be a problem. I'm going to completely wall myself off as well because I don't trust my computer player ally to do a good job walling. I'm going to reseed these farms, and I'm going to go back to the whole villager queuing thing. Usual buttons. They're fantastic. Now I have enough stone that I'm going to immediately plop out a town center right next to a close by forest. I've got a ton of excess food if you couldn't tell. I will fix that. It's important that I have all that food though, and that I haven't built any new farms since the Dark Age, and you're not going to for a really long time. I'm just going to pour all of my new villagers onto building this town center. I want to get it as fast as possible so I can spend all this excess food, and I'm still occasionally building houses. I don't think Age of Empires 2 is a game that you can really hold yourself to a strict build order, because you have to really vary it based on the situation. Especially since many maps are randomly generated, so you never know what you're gonna get. This town center is almost up. Notice I got quite a good castle time despite not hunting anything, not mining anything, and doing this as basic as I can. And then now this town center is actually, yeah, your first town center that's extra should immediately get wheelbarrow, because now you have enough villagers for that. And I'm just going to keep spawning villagers onto wood. I'm not going to build any new farms. I haven't built any farms since I left the Dark Age, and I'm not going to build any farms for quite a while, because I don't need to. However, I am going to start completely walling up, because I don't trust my computer player friend to accurately wall up. So I'm going to wall this. I'm going to put a gate, though, in case I want to do some trading. And yeah, this town center's not idle. This one's not idle either, because he's researching something. I'm going to get the bow saw, which you can get basically as soon as you advance. And lo and behold, I have enough wood and stone to make another town center. So I'm going to pick another forest, and it's a bonus if there's minerals nearby. And I'm also going to wall this side too. Booming only works if you actually wall, so make sure you do. Of course, there's a wolf. Scouty, take him out. Both town centers still working, and I'm still not building any new farms because I don't need them. And these 4 people on stone are plenty for now. I haven't mined any gold yet either, you may have noticed, which is fine. I'm going to pull off a couple lumberjacks to go build that a little faster. I'm going to keep reseeding these farms, maybe get some horse collar now. How's the walling going? Perfect. So he's done walling, so I am safe actually for now. Which is the point of this. Once my next town center goes up, these guys will, I'm going to have them all mine gold. And I'm still, really investing heavily in wood. Alright, so you're done over here. Looking forward to my gold income going up. Fantastic. Yeah, I like to build my second town center next to a gold deposit style area. So now that my third town center is out, we're going to sort of shift gears a bit and just sort of work on balancing the eco. So now I'm going to start building more farms now that I have 3 town centers out. I waited this long on purpose. So I'm just going to pop out a bunch of farms. These guys are all going to mine gold, by the way. All the new villagers spawn from that town center. Just going to mine gold for now, because I'm going to need that to advance, right? Oh, butternuts, I have been housed. Assuming you don't get housed like an idiot, this should be easy. I'm gonna get cartography though, just for kicks, now that I have a gold income, so that I can see what my ally is up to. He seems to be doing just fine. So I'm gonna get a handcart now. Now that I have 60 population, handcart is completely legit. I'm gonna build a university because it's about 25 minutes in. I'm mostly working off time right now. I'm gonna build a university, and I'm gonna build a siege workshop now. If you get attacked in the early Castle Age, build a siege workshop immediately, and have mangonels lob shots over your walls to keep the enemy away from it. Because they'll probably be using rams to take out your walls, and you should have walled reasonably early like I did, so... Oh good, Red is actually walled, or he's walling. I'm still making villagers at each of these town centers, by the way. I've got 3 right now. And we're going to build one last one, and I'm going to put it, as usual, next to like a golden forest type thing. And I need some guys to work on this. Still need more villagers. And I'm going to take a bunch of these lumberjacks off. Again, you just sort of have to wing this. I know I have a lot of wood, right, compared to my food, so I know that I should make more farms, and I can just take those lumberjacks off. There's no point in being concerned that my villagers are already doing one particular task. They can do whatever they want to. And if you don't get housed like me all the time, but you might, probably do this a bit faster. I'm going to ignore my ally because I am a terrible, terrible teammate. Fantastic. Gonna get heavy plow now that I have a lot of farms. I see my Leon fellow has neglected his blacksmith upgrades, always a problem. And now we're getting sort of to that point where I almost have enough to advance the Imperial Age, and what timing, right? Ideally, you'd want to get the Imperial Age around before, you know, like between 30-35 minutes in. I got my 4th and final TC coming out. It is that once I hit the Imperial Age, I will have already hit my 100 population goal. And we are almost there. So I'm going to click up to the Imperial Age now that the clock has hit 30 minutes, and I basically just click up to the Imperial Age as soon as you hit 1,000 food and 1,000 gold, which you will if you're following what I'm doing, which is lots of town centers. My town centers are always working, and yeah, and you're not getting housed like a moron, right? Good. Very good. And yeah, in case I was getting attacked, I would just build a mangonel there, but I don't have to. I'm surprised I actually haven't been attacked yet, but appears that Red's doing all the work. And now I have enough to build a castle, so I'm just going to do that. This is basically the end of the tutorial. There's a couple of few things here. I'm just going to finish this match. We build a lot of extra markets as part of this booming thing. I'm going to still make sure that my town centers aren't idle, because I have not hit that beautiful, beautiful 100 mark. And you'll notice I again, like in the Feudal Age, I spent as little time in the Feudal Age as possible. I didn't research anything until in the Feudal Age except double bit axe, but I was already advancing at that time. And now that I've clicked up, I can start focusing on my military. And let's get some mining upgrades out. If we can get some mining upgrades, let's do that. Trying to sort of redistribute my lumberjacks a little broader. Might need to put, you might need to rebuild new lumber camps that are closer to the trees to minimize the amount of time your villagers have to walk. And yeah, as I'm advancing the Imperial Age, I'm going to plop up my barracks. The only thing you really need to defend yourself are maybe like a watchtower or something, or maybe a mangonel or two. Alright, fantastic. I got trade caravan at my market, so now the last part of my economy, which you do in the Imperial Age, is lots of trade carts. Which is why I like to build plenty of markets. I treat them like a town center. I can get them out, get my trade carts out 4 times as fast with 4 markets, so might as well, right? And now it is time for military action. We do a conscription, very important. Use the market to adjust my economy a little bit. And yeah, you can see I have a very strong economy. I hit the 100 villagers by the standard amount. Basically, the poor man's boom, which is what I've been doing, booming for people who are not confident in their among other things, is basically as strong as someone who... It's still very strong. Like, you get maybe an 18-19 minute castle age with a huge economy like I have, and you're basically it'll be a little slower, but you'll be completely on equal footing. Which is great. I'm going to start getting my blacksmith upgrades out. One thing I like to do, especially if you're less experienced, is I like to have my army composed almost entirely of trash units, or units that don't cost gold. So these would be the spearmen, skirmishers, and scout cavalry line. And then that is backed up with siege. Am I researching chemistry? I should be researching chemistry. Alright, so I'm going to go get chemistry now because I'm going to want siege weapons, of course, to back up my trash units. And yeah, I'm getting my army out at a reasonable time. Could be a bit faster, of course. I'm going to put it on a few stables too. Part of this booming strategy is you need to have a lot of military buildings. No sense in being idle. Yep, so I'm just trying to be a little conservative with my gold if I can. I'll get coinage, you never know if I need that. At this point, basically, you can do whatever you want, research whatever you want, doesn't matter. I didn't invest in military technologies while it was booming because I don't want to hurt the boom. But now I would, because I've got almost all of my economic technologies researched, so good to go. Siege engineers. Then I'll get ballistics next. They're all important, of course. Bombard cannons are going to be the bulk of my siege, I'm feeling it. And I throw in a hand cannoneer or two. Now I can start pumping out pikemen. I'm going to get tracking now. I don't have a lot of room to build, but that's okay. It's okay. And now I'm going to start getting my horse upgrades. Your stone miners are idle, so you guys can go... You girls can go mine that. Usually want to prioritize the defensive upgrades over the... I guess I'm ready to move out. Over the offensive ones, unless it's the range upgrade, like the fletching. So I'm going to hotkey all of my military buildings to control groups by pressing control and then the number at the same time. So barracks are 1, archer ranges are 2, and stables are 3, and siege workshop will be 4, and he's just going to be pumping up bombard cannons. And this is when the real carnage begins. And I'm still not going to be neglecting my blacksmith upgrades, of course, right? That would be scandalous. And then I guess I'm going to go up to Hussar as soon as this guy's done. So really there's a lot of flexibility in this. You want to adjust your eco to your needs. I really like to build my castles in defensive locations to protect my markets and farmers. So if I have to ring the town bell, I'll be fine, in case, you know, the enemies love to have cavalry just run past all of your stuff and raid your economy, but if my castles are guarding them, I will be fine. Have I got this ballistics upgrade yet? Nope. As you can tell, my computer opponent is not at all prepared for this. Denghis the Hun. He's not watching his guys. I guess he's going to do that thing where he's going to try and raid my eco, but I think I got murder holes at some point. I don't know if I did. Probably should have. Either way, his entire army's going to die to the castle anyway. Which is why I put that castle there. You want to put your castles in a location in which they're not really able to be hit with trebuchets, while at the same time, enemy units that try to raid your economy will be forced to run by them. And yeah, you can see that my town centers and castles make me basically immune to raiding. And I don't want to build it too far forward, like I said. If it's in trebuchet range, that's really bad. So I'm going to be really careful about that. Yeah, I just want bombard cannons. Don't forget your siege engineers upgrade. Megadon's good supplements as well. So yeah, I just build a lot of trash units. Especially if you don't know what to build. Trash units and siege weapons is great. And then you can change that later based on your needs. I'm going to get the attack upgrades though, just because I'm meeting the resistance, but like I said, ideally you would want to focus on the defense upgrades. So yeah, I've got a great economy going out. For some reason, no one's building that anymore, and that irritates me. These guys are all jumped up on gold, clumped up, so I'm gonna split them. And yeah, it's you have to keep watching your mill, of course, and make sure that you keep rebuilding your lumber camps, so that you guys don't have to walk so far. And now we're gonna keep pushing. Let's go get some more hussars. Is my blacksmith idle? It is. Blast furnace time. So yeah, I've got a good economy. Everything's all strong. And I mean, when we look at the victory screen, we'll see that I clearly have a better economy than every other computer player in this game, and that's because I have been using my 10 centers to the fullest. They were never idle. They're idle now because I've got as many villagers as I could possibly need. You'll notice I have a lot of excess wood compared to everything else. My economy is pretty well rounded because I'm continuously producing troops at a ton of military buildings, as you can tell. But I'm not running out of resources, which means that my economy is good. If you're running out of resources while producing your military, that means you might want more villagers. But yeah, like I said, I have a lot of wood, and I'm a little low on food, which means I could probably pull off some lumberjacks to go make farms. I'm not going to go too crazy on that, but yeah, you just sort of adjust it based on your needs. I guess my thumb. And yeah, I'm getting all these technologies. I'm just pushing forward. I could just patrol into his base, actually, and just not watch anything. Oh no, I can't patrol with those bombard cannons. That's fine. I'll just keep moving them forward now. Keep everything, I'm constantly moving my gather points forward, if you haven't noticed, so that I can keep double checking that my eco is just fine and dandy while I watch my guys. Got a few more upgrades that need to be to our idle. Since I'm running a little low on food, I can have you all go do this. Still, yeah, so now the discrepancy in my economy is becoming a little more apparent, so some of my lumberjacks are now going to be farmers. And I'm going to put another castle to protect my economy, I think. Basically want to ensure that... And so, like, yeah, if they wanted to kill my farmers, or, you know, if they want to kill my markets, more importantly, they're going to have to run through a lot of troubles. That's the point. Siege onager now too, because I got a couple onagers in here. The point is I have a wide variety of siege units combined with a wide variety of trash units. It doesn't matter if I lose the trash. The point of them is that they just protect my more expensive, nicer units. This means I get to conserve my gold as well, so win-win, right? Economy's a little bit better balanced. I think I could use another farmer though. Constantly checking my mill and my lumber camps. Don't really need to watch my guys that much. Just need to occasionally move them up and adjust their gather points. And that's easy because I have everything hotkeyed, right? So, sweet, sweet victory. Take a look at my teammate's base. You can see that he's got a good economy as well. But it took him a lot longer because I have more town centers and I built them faster. And I still have a lot of wood, so I could still move more lumberjacks onto food if I wanted. I mean, in one game I only had 9 lumberjacks by the very end, so you just sort of have to play it by ear. So I'll build another castle just for kicks. Oh, I can't forget murder holes now, can I? Murder hole's very important. Alright, awesome. So that is how you boom. So yeah, as you can see, you know, I've got a huge here, and that's basically what won the game. My economy is much stronger than theirs, and that's the point of this boom. You gotta remember to wall, of course, make sure your town center is never idle, half your population should be villagers. The basics. As you can see, once I hit the castle age, I just start to accumulate a huge advantage and basically take over the map. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. If you have any comments or questions, post them. Don't forget to thumbs up this video, and check out my channel for more videos. Of course, I have a live stream. My Twitch TV account is Resonance22, and I stream pretty frequently. And I have a YouTube account, Resonance22 channel, which you're probably watching this on. So there's plenty more videos where this came from. And again, there's more efficient ways to do this, but if even if you are not confident in your ability to micro or hunt, you are still perfectly capable of booming and doing a great job at it. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. See you next time.